So last night we had folks with us that were in a camper and they were at that location and they were gracious enough to allow us to come to their space. It was a public space nevertheless. And we had a great time with them. We shared stories and the lady did see something white moving through the thermal imaging video. That's where we're going, right up there to that location. This is the Cathedral Sacre de Saint Michel. This whole energy is a focal point of ley lines and energy, and throughout the ages there's been many sightings here. Even 1,000 years ago there's descriptions of glowing balls of light, of fire coming down from the sky, and this is where we are, right in the center of it all right now. And this would be a great spot for sky watching. We're going to continue looking through the area. We may very well come back to this spot tonight because we can see right over to the cathedral. We can see across to the mountains. We can see down into the valley. This is a fabulous spot. Okay, so this is abbreviated because there's about a 50 or more % chance of rain tonight. So we're just going to go with the time lapse. And it's going to be time lapse infrared and time lapse visible. We've caught things on that before, especially in Lake Ontario in Canada. So this way I can pack up real fast if it should start to rain. You know, with the whole WMD setup, it's quite involved, so it takes a lot of time. So this is very portable. So I've added the color thermal on here. And we've got the wide green night vision as well. So tonight we've got the infrared time lapse, we've got the visible time lapse, we've got the green night vision, wide angle, and we've got the full color thermal wide angle. So 4 things. This is just to measure the dew point to see if we're going to get, dew on the lenses. And we're ready to go. I've got it aimed more at the cathedral, whereas the other ones are wider angle, so they include from the cathedral right over. And since this is narrow, I have to turn it over to the cathedral. So we're here again tonight, and when we arrived there was a camper van here, and we met the folks. They're from France. The one fellow is a musician, and the lady, she makes soaps and creams and things like that. And they're here tonight, and we're all watching the screens, and she saw a white object go across the thermal. You can see the color thermal there. So red is hot, blue is more cold, and she saw the object go back the other way again. So we've marked the time down, and tonight or tomorrow when we have a chance to go through the footage, we're going to go to that time and just see if we can determine what that was and see if the time lapse caught it, and we're also going to see if the night vision caught it and try to determine, was this an authentic anomaly, some kind of a UFO. We're going to check it out and just see what it was. So I'm looking through the, there's 2 time lapses. There's the night, like the infrared time lapse, which captures infrared light. Then there's the visible time lapse. That's the one I'm looking at now. Each frame is, in this case, 20 seconds long. And this is the cathedral, or the monastery, whatever you want to call it, that's been there for like 800-900 years. And this is where many things have been seen over the 1,000 years. There's been balls of light come down and so on. And even 2 nights ago, we had lightning striking the cathedral. That's a pretty interesting shot that we got in the time lapse. So I've got something interesting here. If we scroll back, you can see right here is a helicopter going by, and it's yellow and red lights. Okay, and it's in 2 20-second shots. Now that's interesting. That's great. We saw the helicopter actually go by. We heard it. But in the infrared, it's not there. So, you know, it should be right around this area here. Now, there could be several explanations for that. Well, first of all, in our travels, we know that anything's possible. Literally anything's possible. But this captures infrared, so it's possible that they're LED lights and they don't show up in the infrared. It is a little odd though. It is a little odd why it doesn't show up. It just doesn't show up in the infrared time lapse. So last night we had folks with us that were in a camper, and they were at that location, and they were gracious enough to allow us to come to their space. It was a public space nevertheless. And we had a great time with them. We shared stories, and the lady did see something white moving through the thermal imaging video. Can we say it's a bug? Not 100%. Because, you know, we've had many cases where we thought it was something and it turns out to be something else. So, you know, we need to do more research. Sometimes it can look like one thing and be another. You know, until the research is fully done, you can never definitively say it's one thing or another.